not completely pissing me off all the time.
So I was like, leave it alone.
Okay. Whew, look at that.
White.
I could look 80 if I wanted to.
Or you could have that real... The whole thing is so white now. You can have that real funky white hair. Do some crazy haircut. Everybody would be like, when did you go platinum?
It started when I was 23. I blame my daughter. What color are you putting on today? This looks different.
I'm mixing color. I want that warmth in it, but then I put the 2. It's got like 4 and 2 and everything in it, but I added some red to it.
Mm-hmm.
See how it processes.
One way to find out.
Yeah, put it on.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much though, when you put 2 in anything, drops the color right down.
Mm-hmm.
I always mix my color wacko. Like, people watch me mix color and they get a headache.
Well,
Because-
you know what you're doing. I mean, you know what they're going to do.
Well, right,
Nobody
after
else-
20
nobody
some odd
else
years,
would
you kind
know
of
that.
figure it out.
I mean, you can say to me, too, you know, yeah, you put some 2 and some 4, and so, yeah, so they meet in the middle,
Right.
in the 3 range. I have retained
Right.
that from hair school.
Right, exactly. And if you're painting, when you mix your color and you want it to have a brown, but you want to see red in it, then if you put in a level 4 or a level 3 red,
Mm-hmm.
it'll change it. And then if you want to darken it up, then you add some 2,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and black is 1.
Mm-hmm. Always.
And then you mix them all up together and you use standard 20 volume peroxide, and then you let it sit on there and actually process for the 35-40 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what it takes, and then you get that color. But if you don't mix in like the high, the low, the brown, the red,
Then you just
won't
get the shallow. You get the
Yeah.
shallow fake looking color.
right. And when you're using translucent colors, you don't really know what the hell the color. It's never judgeable by the bowl.
Well, and I can tell you on my gray,
Right, you're painting over
White.
white.
it's like it's going to be glowing bright right there, and then the rest of my hair is going to look completely different.
Right. Right. When you're working with gray hair, you always have to put in the dark colors
Yes.
because it's gone. And I have watched hair. You know, no, it's this chemistry, it's that chemistry, it's this formula, it's that formula, and watch them mix the formula and look at them and go, right. But by doing that, you put so much brown in that mixture because there's no brown in the color. Well, yeah.
Right. It's
And
like you have to put that back,
Right. Exactly.
you stupid people.
And a lot of times what I'll do, because I like, you know, it's fun kind of keeping your hair changed up a little bit, but not too crazy,
Mm-hmm.
that can do it, and it's always easy to go back over it with some darker after I get the vibrancy or some color in there instead of it just being white.
Yes.
You know, you can always go reapply some even darker on it or some even browner on it
Yes.
because you have the color.
Well, and because I'm in here frequently enough that, yeah, that works.
Well, and for me, it's like you're painting, so one coat does this and one coat does that, and you're painting on white resistant hair.
Mm-hmm.
Some hairdressers, they whip it all into one mixture and think it's going to work out, and I'm like, it's not really going to work to get that depth of color or have it look natural. To me, anyway.
Yeah.
My definition of it. I see these people and they have their hair done and they have, when you look at the different strands, you don't see the different colors to the strand. You see one
No,
solid
there's no
color.
movement of
Yeah.
color at all, and it's totally flat and boring.
Right. It might be shiny, but it's just, you know, and then you'll see them do like color and then a highlight and then this and then that. And I'm like, well, if you mixed a few colors in your color, the pigments would actually be in there. And porosity is your friend.
Yeah, without pulling foils and
Yeah,
all of
exactly.
that stuff.
Of course, if I have to, I can totally mix the color
Right.
via the formula. Okay, you get some 4NA on there. Have fun. 4 natural ash. Totally bingo hall Betty Brown. Woohoo!
God, who would want to put natural ash in
Well, you can use it as it's like you use it as a part of mixing, but
there? Yes, but not as like.
right.
Why? Who would choose that as the color?
Yeah, there are women that don't want to see any red, any warmth, anything in their hair whatsoever, and I'm like, well, you realize like neutral ash is green.
Right. Ash is green to me. Like when you say ash,
Right.
that's what I think of.
Right, totally green.
Or like somebody with bleached out hair that's been in the pool too much and it goes green.
Right, that's the ash
Ugh.
color.
Ugh.
Right, exactly. But there's certain shades, like to my eye, of
Mhm.
reds, red browns, warm browns. They don't come in a bottle.
Right.
You have to mix them.
Yes.
And there was this old queen, his name was Larry,
Mhm.
and he would mix color, and the girls would be like, when I was a kid, when I worked in the mall,
Mhm.
he was so funny, because he had a squeezer of vodka and water. And he'd drink that from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night,
Uh-huh.
and that's how he makes color. If you need 2 ounces of color, then you need half an ounce of this, and a quarter ounce of that, and another ounce of this, and a quarter ounce of that, and now mix in your peroxide, and put it on there, and take a look at it, and test it in 20 minutes, and I'd be like, wow, and then, or he said on other clients, he just mixed this and that and the other thing and put it on there and be like, bug it, let it go for 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And he'd be like, okay, why? And it's like, just watch. And then I'd be like, ooh. The girls would be like, he scares me.
Aw.
But back when he was, so they called him Scary Larry.
Scary Larry.
But back in the day, they used in his day and age, there was still 60 volume peroxide.
Oh my God.
So you would
Oh my
do
God.
a bleach highlight on the rich girls.
And would there be hair left
Boy,
afterwards?
you would start with like 30 volume peroxide,
Okay.
and you would have your 60 volume sitting there, and you would add it to your mixture over the time of doing the girl's hair, so it stayed live and in person. So when you got the last foil or the last piece of it on, it was as active as the first piece you're on. So these are done.
That's
these cook in that
cool.
amount of time. You rinse it out in 5 or 10 minutes. But up here in America, so many people have burnt off everyone's head using
Yes.
high volume peroxide.
Yes.
You can't use 60 volume peroxide
Right.
in America. It's
Right.
illegal because it burns your scalp. Other countries are like, just put it on there. But he was like, we used to have it. And I said, well, I remember that there was some in beauty school when I first went a long time ago,
Mhm.
and they were bitching that they couldn't get it anymore
Interesting.
because it was too dangerous.
Well, I definitely think you should require, judging by my time in hair school, they really don't drive home to you how serious the bleach is on your hair.
Right.
I mean, it is.
Right. It's huge.
You are ripping the shit out of your hair.
Right.
You are ripping
Bleach-
everything out of your hair.
Right.
You're
Well-
killing it more than it's already dead.
Right. Bleach breaks down the structure of the hair. They have color removers now that work in a different way that it actually doesn't break down the fiber layer of the hair, even though it's still a chemical.
Mm-hmm.
And different color removers that actually pull out color molecules instead of oxidizing out the color molecule, and by doing that, breaking down the fiber layer of the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Because bleached hair feels like wet noodles. You know, it's slimy, it's noodly, it's stretchy. It's pretty abused.
I saw mushy hair that was like,
Hydrolyzed.
oh my god. Yeah. I didn't do that to anyone, but
Who did
I
it?
saw it.
Oh. Did somebody do it?
Well, yeah, it was, it was one of the hairdresser's boyfriends that wanted his hair bleached out. And I mean, so it's like bleach on the whole head, saran wrap over it. No, just let it sit until it's white.
Right.
You know, and the grow out just would start just,
By then,
it's like slime,
Right.
you know, it's just sliming off. But I
Right.
mean, when you've got a shaved head with less than an inch of hair total, I guess,
right,
it's okay. And as
Right.
long as your scalp can take it.
right,
And then there were other people, like there was this woman that came in that she wanted her hair bleached so bad, and her scalp couldn't take it. It was like her scalp was raw.
Right.
And she didn't care. She still, and it was like,
Red
we're
bumps,
like,
I have
no,
a
we
client
can't
like
do
that.
it. We
Yeah.
can't do it. Sorry.
I have a client like that, right? It burns like hell, you know, and you've got to get it, and it just, she insists, and it has to sit on there, and you got to watch it.
Yeah.
Pretty much after 45 minutes, bleach won't work. Uh-oh. Well, I'm not going to answer it. Marco Polo.
Did you see Morgan got her little second job at the tattoo shop?
I did see that.
Yeah. She's so excited.
How does she like it?
She likes it a lot. She's gonna learn a lot of different stuff. And
Is she going to be a tattoo artist herself?
no, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that that's gonna be her thing. But I think she definitely sees it as art, and I guess that's good.
Right.
So being around it is enjoyable.
Right.
And Target was smart enough to work with her schedule and let her have those days off.
Good.
Because we had talked to her and we're like, you're young, you have plenty of time to go work at lots of places. If you want to work at this place, they're either going to work with you because you're a good employee and they want to keep you, or they can have you notice.
Right.
You know? It's like you don't have to stay there.
Right.
It's like I have to pound into her head on a weekly basis that there is no limit. Like, you limit yourself. It's like you have these parameters in your head of whatever it may be, and that this is as much as you can do, or this is as far as you can go, or this is all you can do, or whatever. And that there aren't any of those. That you can
Right.
do what you want to do. You don't have to follow.
Well, and how old are you?
She's.
There's so much life ahead of you. Knock it out.
I know.
They've got it all set in stone, and this is the way it's going to be every day for the rest of their life. And I'm sorry, guys, you're 19, 18.
Yeah,
knock it
have
off.
some fun. Have a little fun. So I guess the challenge is for them to figure out how to balance it. Like, yes, you have to work. Yes, you have to have money to pay your rent. Yes,
Right.
you know, there are things that are absolute that you need to do.
Right.
But you need to be able to balance that with having fun.
Right.
You will do both. She'll figure it out.
It's called growing up.
Mm-hmm. They did decide they want to go to Vegas when she turns 21.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is fun.
It is fun.
So she'd like that.
Yes. Has Shane taken his permit test yet?
He's got the permit. He wants to take his driver's license test now.
Yeah, Bailey, I finally made her go take the permit test, knowing that she was not going to pass it because she doesn't take it seriously and she hasn't studied. And so she didn't pass it, and she was horrified that she didn't pass it because I really thought I think she thought she was going to be able to half-pass her way through it, you know?
You can't. You have to
No,
study all the
you have
signs
to-
and the stopping.
Yeah,
and
yeah. So, yeah, she needs to get on that because her work schedule and stuff, it's like, you've got to be able to drive yourself, child.
Okay, we're recording again. At my door. Perfect. I think it's so funny that your hair is so curly
Mm-hmm.
and you flat iron it as straight as you can get it.
Mm-hmm. When it's longer again, I'll wear it curly again. It's like the curl that comes right now, with the way it is right now, is unacceptable. Because when it was really long, it was a good curl.
Right.
But the in-between curl looks like a mullet to me. I hate it. I mean, I can't even, it disgusts me. I can't. I'm not even kidding either. There is no exaggeration. It is bad.
Girl, she's all no mullet. No Wasilla hair for me, damn it.
No. You see, it wants to curl. See,
Mm-hmm.
these curls are
We
really
should
good
do,
when it grows out. These ones are really good.
We should do finger waves one time.
Yeah.
Because your hair would finger wave perfectly.
Yeah, it would. God, I hated finger waves in their hairs.
Oops.
Yeah, it waves pretty easily.
It's perfect. But Kids don't even know how to do finger waves anymore.
No, and you know the funny thing is you see them now like in like the high fashion
Magazines.
Yeah.
And they're like, and people are like, how did you do that? It's the finger wave, honey.
Yeah.
We should do that to you one time. We'll finger wave it all up and exaggerate your makeup and then go out on the lake and you know, or go out someplace and do you all up. Go over to Mountain View. Have you looking hot in the dumpster in a ball gown.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Take her to the dump. Take a picture of her. Work with the flies, Kim. Just work with the flies.
Work it!
Yeah. Own it! Yeah. Don't mind the smell. What's this thing sticking to my foot? Is that last year's tampon? Yeah. Work it down. I want to see landfill shake. That's what I want to see. Give me biting flies. That smile does not say dirty diaper.
Oh my god.
And do the stepped on the pop top pose. You know.
Yes.
If it makes you puke, thank God. The model needed to lose a little weight anyway.
Yes, it's all good.
That's my favorite line in Zoolander. Lose 5 pounds immediately and get away from me. Dries so quickly.
Yeah. Because there just really isn't that much of it. I have weird hair. Yeah, I've learned that if I want it to look like there's any length in your hair, I have to blow dry the bottom one straight before I flat iron it. Yeah.
Or it won't do it.
It's so weird because it's like the hair that's around the base of my neck is just completely different than the rest of it.
Right, if you don't pull it smooth when you blow dry it, when you flat iron it, it's crazy. Yes, call me today. Cutting his hair tomorrow.
He's a cool kid. Maybe he's 20. He's not a kid.
Well,
I mean, he's a kid to
yeah,
me, you
right.
know? And that little section on the side there that just wants to do whatever the hell it wants to, no matter what I try to make it do. It's so annoying. It pisses me off every day.
Hello? Hi. I'm blow drying hair, and then I'm have one more haircut, and then I'm done. No, I won't. Well, I'll be done at 6:30. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I have to clean up. My room's a disaster. Because so that'll be fine. I wanted to go, but that's fine. Are they done at 7:30? Okay. Okay. We'll figure it out. Anyway, okay. Okay. Yes, I'll chat with you later then. I saw that. Okay, bye. Having an open house over at Phoenix's class, and it's from 6 to 7:30. And I'm like, still working. He's doing really good.
Is he?
Yeah.
Good. That's
Yesterday
so good to hear.
they send home a note every day, and you have to read it and sign it. And yesterday, not only did he have a personal power day, but he had the best day since he's been in the class.
Oh, good.
Manners, raising his hand, talking, no yelling out of turn.
I knew he had it in him.
Yeah, not being a little jerk.
That's so good.
Plus, the class size is so small that he gets so much reinforcement that he really likes it because it's good for his self-esteem. I mean, he was getting to the point where he didn't want to go to school because school sucked.
It does suck sometimes.
Sometimes school always sucks, but that's not the point.
Well, listen, yeah, you're there for a purpose.
Exactly.
I always ask Bailey, how was school? It was boring. That's always what she says. Samuel's learning about the difference between, the personality differences between all his friends.
Right.
And so that's been interesting for him. He's starting to get less tolerant. He has figured out that he doesn't like being bossed around.
Right.
And I know that's from living in a house with two big sisters that boss him around and a mom that bosses him around all the time.
Right.
So that is that is a deal breaker in the Samuel Lawrence Deacon's brain. Do not boss me around. So it's funny, he's always got this, it's like, that's why I think he'll be a good gossiper, because he's very, he's aware.
Right.
And he's, forming opinions of what is acceptable and what is not.
Right.
It cracks me up. And when he got in the car and I told him he was coming with me, and he was like, why? Why do I have to get my hair cut? And I'm like, well, 'cause you chopped that big chunk out of it. Well, what does it matter to you if I run around with a big chunk out of my hair? And I'm like, Samuel, listen, I let you wear your ridiculous clothes that you want to wear to school. I don't dress you a certain way. You pretty much get to do what you want.
So I get to blend that awful haircut.
Exactly. So I said the only thing that I expect of you is that when you leave the house, you're clean.
Right.
You don't have holes in your clothes.
Right.
And that your hair is brushed and looks as acceptable as his hair can look. So don't give me an attitude about the fact that we're going to go get your little snippet blended in a little bit. But it's so funny.
They start
he's
getting
like,
their own
why
opinion.
do you care,
Yeah.
Mom? Why do you care?
Get their own opinions. They get their own vocabulary.
Ugh. Oh my God, I still make Drew change his clothes. Like before he went to the thing with me, before we found out he couldn't go, it's like I told you this, he was going to wear his Captain America thing, and I was like, go put on a different shirt.
We went to the symphony on Saturday, or Sunday we went, right?
Right.
And Heather got pissed off because I had my Pink Floyd pajamas on. And she goes, you're going to the fucking symphony. Change your clothes. I'm like, yes, Mom.
Exactly.
She's like, it's the symphony. You don't go to the symphony dressed like that. Yes, Mother.
Did she dress up?
Well, jeans and a nice shirt, you know.
Oh, okay.
So I went and changed my clothes so that the clothing Gestapo wouldn't come down on me.
So that must be a mom thing, is it?
Yeah. Change your clothes. We're going in public.
Well, I mean, but
I'm like, whatever. When I buy the tickets, I'm going to sit in a symphony naked. Fuck you. You know,
Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
40
yeah.
some odd years old, and if I want to wear my pajamas to the symphony in Anchorage, Alaska at 4 o'clock, guess what?
I'm gonna goddamn
So she
do it.
says, did you see anybody else in their pajama pants? I said sweats and stretch pants. She says, but no pajama pants. I'm like, you win. Just shut up and leave me alone. You win. Write it down on the calendar.
Right.
You're starting off the new year right.
Yep.
Bitch.
Yeah, Samuel doesn't care what he wears. I mean, he has like shirts that he likes. Like his Angry Birds t-shirt he's wearing today, he likes that shirt. He thinks it's really cool.
It's a cool shirt.
I'm like, okay, whatever. But for the most part, no, he doesn't care. He really doesn't.
My mom and I were fighting over something once, and I was the clothes forward, right? So it was school shopping time, and I had gone school shopping and had all my funky clothes, and she tells me, why don't you just go play in your clothes and leave me alone? I was like, that's not fair, you bitch. You know, you're being mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
Although that was fun. I went and played in my clothes, but still.
Yeah.
How dare you know me? I am not predictable. Ooh, look at those shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that'd be Morgan. Morgan's much more predictable than Bailey is. Bailey's so difficult. I love it when I actually get through to her. Like she listens to something that I say, and it actually makes her like think.
Right.
Love that.
I can tell when I've gotten through to Shane because he'll start laughing at me.
Yeah?
And I'm like, you heard me then. He's like, well, it just sounds funny. And I'm like, right, you have to think about it. Imagine what it looks like from my angle watching you. And I'm not supposed to be laughing.
Love Shane.
I'm not supposed to be laughing at you.
him.
Oh, you can
love
raise him,
him.
honey. He's got a few days of his own that he's just. I've learned him now after a couple years of being around.
Uh-huh.
And the dishes will sit in the sink until you point them out, and you know all the teenage
All
stuff
that
he does.
Stuff. He's
Exactly.
Still that.
Don't wash clothes on Sunday because that's Heather's day, but you have all the other days of the week.
But Sunday's
Who's
the only
got their
day.
fucking clothes in the washer on Sunday?
Mhm.
You know, on and on and on and on. Well, you know, she wasn't using it this morning. That wasn't the point. Today is Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I just had that conversation. Drew was gonna finally do laundry after he had given me huge attitude one day, like huge. Like I had to leave the room because I was just gonna be mean. There wasn't gonna be any
Right.
okay, this is a teaching moment. It
Right.
was like I'm gonna get nasty and he's gonna cry is what's gonna happen.
Ooh, that would scare me.
And so it took like a day and a half before Eric was like, "Are you gonna talk to him?"
I
I'm
have
like,
that temper.
you know it's bad when
Right.
my husband is like,
Yeah, I have that same
you
temper.
need to talk to him. And so I was like, the only reason I'm talking to you right now is because my husband said I have to.
That's such bullshit, Kim. I can't even believe you. If I don't do it, Eric's gonna be mad at me.
No, he wouldn't care. Well, no, the only thing he's like, when you aren't happy, the whole house is out of whack.
Well,
He's
right,
like-
because you stomp around and are pissy and bitchy.
Yes. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not passive aggressive at all. Why? Why do you say that? Here's your stuff. I'm fine. Really. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'll be alright.
No, they don't even ask that. It's like they know if I'm pissed, they just leave me be. Except Eric. Eric will be like, the kids are scared of you. What's going on? And I'll tell him, and he's like, you know, he does his good husband thing. We discuss it, and
Good husband, my ass. He's your friend. That's why. You know, when somebody's your friend
yes,
and your partner,
Yes,
you can
he is.
discuss it.
yes,
And especially you spend enough time together and they know you,
yes.
then it's sad because you just can't do anything. Because they know you and you just smile.
I do. Sometimes he'll call me on stuff, and I just have to. I laugh.
Right.
Because
It's
I'm
so-
like, and it's so ridiculous.
I'm not
And I'll-
predictable at all.
And I'll
You're-
tell him that. I'm like, I'm sitting here gritting at you. I'm totally pissed off, but, you know, it's not at him. It's, you know,
Right.
I'm not mad at him. So, yeah, it just makes me laugh. I just laugh. Because I'm like, I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, I can laugh at myself, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm pissed off.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'll acknowledge that it's ridiculous, and I'm the first one to admit that I'm an incredible bitch when I want to be, which
Oh.
is most of the time. But I admit it.
I just laugh now. I'm like, okay, you have to win one sometime. This is all you get.
Yeah.
Don't make me unfriend you.
Yeah. It seems like I have more hair on the top of my head. Do I have more hair on the top of my head, or is it just because it's short?
It's just because of the way it's shorter.
You know, the number one person that observes and notices things about mine and my husband's relationship is Drew.
Right. Because he doesn't have parents to pick from. So he'll watch and observe and see how you guys are doing it. Most kids will pattern their relationships after their parents.
Mm-hmm.
So he watches that. It's a good example. Now, if I were to pattern myself after my parents, we'd be fighting all the way back from Chitna, drunk. I said it.
Yay!
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. God damn it, you do this to me every time we go out! I hate you! Now let's sing! Let's go to 5 Mile Lake and go swimming! Yay! Naked! Woo! My parents had this big fight. My dad kicked in the side of my mom's car.
Oh my god.
My mom was all pissed off at him a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was saying something and they were all talking, you know. One would talk to me and then the other would talk to me, but I couldn't say what either one had said to me because I was just like, whatever.
Oh my god, you were in the middle?
You kids, no, I just ended up there when they were telling their stories, right? Because they were traveling and everything, right? Couldn't help it.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad says something and I looked at him and I said, well, I don't understand what the hell your problem is. You guys have done it for the 41 years that I've known you every time we went to Chitna. I fought all the way home. And he goes, yeah, why would she expect me to change now? And I said, a better question would be, why haven't you changed by now?
Right.
And then he looked at me and he got quiet.
You
Yeah.
too.
What would she expect me to change now? I'm like, my point. But pretty much most people grow out of that.
Right.
Here they are in their 60s, late 50s.
Or they're alone.
Late 50s, early 60s, fighting all the way back from
lucky
Chitna
you.
still. Yeah. I'm like, yep. I just laugh. When Heather was asking me something, I said, no, I knew that you and I were going to spend some time together. The first time you got pissed off and jumped out of the car and walked across town, and I was like, she's just like my family! Only we'd be walking back from Chitna for about 4 hours. I love her.
Oh my god.
Just dive out of the car. Fuck you. I hate you guys.
That's hilarious. Seriously?
Yes.
I would never. I'd be like, take me somewhere and then get out of my face.
No, you're on
I
camera.
wouldn't be
Yes,
getting out of the car.
now this is the final shot. We're in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. All better.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the color?
It's good. It's good. It isn't purple, but somehow it blends in with what you did before.